I think if you understand what it is that you're doing, I'm saying, bro, it's Death Note. The characters and the story is not something that's believable to begin with. The characters that they produce and the way that they act, you have to dive into these worlds of anime if you're going to go ahead and take that shot. You can't half in, half out it with those things, because that's what makes anime great.
Now, here's the last thing I'll say about this, man. And this is why I think Avatar is going to win, right? I don't know, and I'm fairly certain.
They saw M. Nights, so they know they're not going that route.
Right? Once again, and that's a perfect example, right? So M. Night Shyamalan had nothing to do with the source material of Avatar Airbender. I don't know how much of a fan he was.
His kid liked it.
Or if they just said, hey, we're going to remake this Nickelodeon TV show into a movie. We want to put your name on it. Can you produce it? You have to get people that are from that world. For example, they're remaking a pretty big video game that came out back in 1997 called Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, one of the greatest.
So they're remaking it, and so far, it's considered a masterpiece just from the demos that have come out, because they got guys leading the project that bought the game when it came out back in 1997. Were fans from the start.
They are invested.
And they're invested. They're going to make sure that they.
And you can't mess that up, bro. It's Final. That's the last video game, honestly, that I really played. Like, because I played it to beat it. Like, I played it till I beat it.
It was an amazing game, and the point is when you have people that are part of the process from the jump or are invested in the story, then I think it can succeed.
And you were saying
the two guys that actually created both shows are going to be, they have the creative reign. So I'm excited. I think, back to Chris's point, Netflix will not die. Will not die.
Yeah, Chris made a bold prediction that Netflix will be out of here in 3 years. I'm going to have to flip-flop on that again. I think they're going to be okay.
It seems like every other week you're either on my side or you're not.
You're right.
So next week we're going to be back to they're going to die in 3 years.
It makes sense, because didn't you say Netflix took the move to grab Nickelodeon?
Yes, they did.
Now that they grabbed Nickelodeon,
they're also projecting that Avatar: The Last Airbender, for those fans of the show, it will be on Netflix at some point to watch as well.
Oh my gosh! So
I mean, come on now, you know what I mean? It's a no-brainer, bro. It's one of the greatest cartoons ever made, universally loved for the most part.
And it's nostalgic, man. I mean, it came right at the tail end of my kind of adolescence, where cartoons weren't like really that hot to me, and then I saw this, and I was like, man,
cartoon.
And speaking of Netflix grabbing Nickelodeon, think of all of the nostalgia, man. Like, everybody wants to sit back and reminisce and be happy. Like, Netflix grabbing Nickelodeon, all the shows that we watched coming up in the 90s, man. I think Netflix is going to be around for a good long time.
I think so.
They actually have another show that's coming out too that you have on your list.
There is. They're actually producing Zelda. That'll be coming as well. So, not if you guys, I don't know how familiar you guys are familiar with Zelda.
I'm very familiar with Zelda.
I'm very familiar.
I like the story. Like, I didn't play the games a whole lot, but I do enjoy the story. It's one of those another one of those mythical kind of like eras. Now, they did say this is not going to be like Witcher-esque. It's going to be a bit more like lighthearted,
like the game.
So if you're looking for like that type of vibe,
I wonder what it's
probably not going to get.
They're going to take like the kind of like Vampire Diary take on it, because you can, because it involves elves and wizards and.
What do you mean as far as like just kind of
more like a drama style, soap opera style,
lighthearted?
I didn't watch Vampire Diaries. I was thinking of
it wasn't lighthearted, but I guess it took on a lighter tone. I guess just watching it, I didn't feel like it was kind of dark and broody.
Vampire Diaries,
Witcher-esque.
What's the one on? What was the one on HBO? True Blood. Is it more True Blood? Because True Blood was lighthearted, in my opinion. Like, it was kind of comical.
Well, if you rate it to True Blood, then you can consider Vampire Diaries a true wash of what you.
Because I don't think I've watched Vampire Diaries, but I did watch True Blood. That had of course, the famous character Lafayette. In the kitchen. I don't know. You guys have probably seen it, but whatever. But True Blood was lighthearted. in that way. So I've never seen Vampire Diaries, but I heard good things about it, I guess.
Yeah, no, I enjoy Vampire Diaries. I guess more I was like thinking that like
another
the style
V
of how
show. Shouldn't be surprised. Another show that starts with V.
Yeah, kind of how it's directed. Like if they're going to take that approach to it. I mean, I'd be interested, but I mean, I was. Go ahead.
Well, they're still looking for a writer, so
that's where it all comes down.
Right now,
people that are
they're just like grabbing up everything. Like, yo, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it.
Once again, it's one of those really, really interesting. I mean, it's the Legend of Zelda franchise has sold over 80 million copies.
Yeah, that's
since 1986, right? It has over 19 different games, spin-offs, the whole nine.
Right.
I mean, it's been here for a while, and it doesn't have. There's not. I mean, it has a story, but it circles around this legendary Triforce, right? And you can go so many places with it.
Right.
The most expansive story that they've done is the Breath of the Wild one,
which is getting a sequel.
So many copies already sold.
Yeah. We're currently working on a sequel to that game right now.
It's probably one of the greatest games. It probably is the greatest game of the last decade.
Really?
Breath of the Wild. 100%. 100%.
And now that they announced that Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out, people are ready to see how this story is done. Now they're saying all the other Legend of Zelda games play a piece in this game.
Okay.
So the thing about the Legend of Zelda is like there've been rumors for the last 15 years about either making a movie or something like that, and even now like that, they're working on a script and everything like that. But
they were scared.
Yeah, I don't. So the last Nintendo movie the movie that Nintendo did outside of Pokemon was Super Mario Brothers in '96 or whatever.
I went to go see that too.
Did I see that? I seen it. I
enjoyed it as a kid.
I was taken to go see it. I don't know, maybe.
But outside of Mario and Pokemon, like Zelda is literally Nintendo's biggest property outside of those two.
You don't want to miss that.
And there's so many different ways they can go with it. And
if you guys like elves and psychic powers and magic and legendary weapons, I mean, the story of the games is incredible. So
I just hope they don't rush it. Like when I read it, I was like, oh, I'm on board, and then I heard like you don't have a writer yet. Okay, so when it
from everything I read, it's going to be more lighthearted, and it's going to follow like the probably more like the Wind Waker series, where it's more cartoony versus more serious.
They're trying to diversify, and you should. Like every show shouldn't be like The Witcher. I don't want to watch The Witcher.
But it is animated, so it's gonna, like I said, it's gonna look more like if you guys are listening to it, it's more like the Wind Waker games that came out like Nintendo DS or whatever.
Those were innovative in the fact because they were cel shaded, right?
Yeah.
And those games, Wind Waker was the first Zelda game that I ever played myself. So I actually have watched people play Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time, The Legend of Zelda, the first one. But Wind Waker was tough.
I think I played Ocarina of Time. Was that on Nintendo 64?
Yeah, it was on 64.
Yeah, that's the one I played.
Wind Waker, Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask were the two on 64.
Yeah, Ocarina of Time, I remember that. I remember that name because it's kind of a weird, cool name.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool lore. I mean, the Triforce, man, it comes in three pieces, right? The Triforce of wisdom, the Triforce of power, and the Triforce of courage.
I didn't play it enough to know it.
Man,
because that was also during the time where I was playing like Star Fox and stuff, and that was cool. But
did they ever come out with a show for that?
Yeah, Star Fox. All right, yeah, that's a whole nother topic. But there's no Star Fox anything coming out, not that I know of. So don't quote me on that. Not breaking news. Let's see. People are dropping Disney Plus after Mandalorian's ending.
Well, dang, I don't technically pay for my Disney Plus.
Did you drop it? Did you drop my Disney Plus?
I didn't drop it.
Did you drop mine?
Are you planning on dropping it?
No.
Okay, good.
No, I'm not dropping
I still got stuff. My son watches too much
Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, bro. I can't.
Clubhouse.
My son loves that stuff. I can't drop Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. And like I've been watching Gargoyles. I really dove back into it. It's still a great cartoon, man. The thing is, if there's talks of remake,
so
they have to bring back the voice of Goliath. I believe it's David. I believe it's Keith David. Bro, I don't care if you do a live action. I don't care if you do another cartoon. He is the only Goliath, bro.
Man, Gargoyles is, I remember when it was popping, my mom got me the Gargoyle bed sheets that glow in the dark. And
damn, they glowed in the dark. Y'all had money.
Hey, for those of you who don't know who Keith David is, if you ever seen the movie ATL, he plays Lauren London's dad. Just throwing that out
right,
there.
and that's if you've never seen ATL. Like, he's played in a bunch of, like, not like the biggest movies, not of late anyway.
He's played in a lot of movies.
He's been in a lot of movies, but
like he was in 21 Bridges, actually.
Like, when you hear that, did you realize that was Keith David? Right? I didn't know that was him. I love, like,
there's a lot of actors like that just kind of fly under the radar, but when
that
you see him, you know him.
Yeah. I was like, man, that's Goliath. He has to play Goliath. I don't care in whatever version you do. There is no other Goliath. Kind of like how they did.
He's a singer too.
Of course he is.
Mufasa.
Like how they did Mufasa. You gotta bring back James Earl Jones. Like, you gotta bring back Keith David as Goliath. But yeah, Disney Plus, people dropping it. You know, the Mandalorian is coming back this year in 2020. So you kind of just re-up again. Yeah, coming back. It's coming back.
Not only that, they've actually moved up Scarlet Vision or whatever. That's coming out this year instead of next year.
They kind of have to. Mandalorian will be coming back August of 2020, and like you said, they're moving up Scarlet Vision. They're gonna have to, because again, Netflix is coming with the heat right now. Now, all my newsfeed is basically Netflix related. Have you seen You? Have you seen? I have not seen You. I don't care
to see You. So
the creepy stalker killer guy.
Yeah, so I watched the preview for that. I haven't watched it yet, but it is on my queue because that looks pretty interesting.
My fiance loves the show. Like, she's already seen all the way through season 2.
My fiance binged it the day it came out.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't see the appeal to it, but you know, it's
love Dexter. My fiance loved Dexter.
It's the same dude, right?
It was a little weird.
I couldn't get into Dexter.
It's the same dude that plays Dexter, right? Or he looks similar.
No, he looks similar. I'll give you that. He definitely looks similar.
He does. He has that look, but Dexter's face is stronger.
Yeah, he has like strong cheekbones or something.
Yeah, he's a little bit more.
You could tell he has a little bit more proper time. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I haven't seen any of that. So Netflix is definitely winning. So I'm not surprised that Disney's like, yo, we got to move up some of these shows.
You know,
WandaVision.
One thing I wish Disney would do is, like, Netflix and Hulu and even Amazon, they'll put an article that says this is what's leaving, this is what's coming.
Oh yeah.
And like, Disney you wake up one day and like, oh,
that's gone.
Yeah, what happened?
They're still getting their app together though.
Yeah.
Because even as I've been using it, I've noticed the changes. Like when I very first started using it, it didn't continue on with like what I was watching.
Oh yeah, that was a pain in the ass.
To search it to find it.
I was watching the Spider-Man cartoon. Like, you had to literally go search for it every single time.
Yeah. You have to go search for the episode.
That was the thing that I didn't like, because watching Netflix, they kind of like they got an algorithm that figures out what kind of shows you like, and then when I jump into Disney Plus, I gotta really search for stuff. So I was like, so I didn't really play with it too much. But we live in a world now where, and I don't know if they're going to figure this out, but they're competing, but I own all of them. And they're not that expensive. I mean, for $35, you can literally have Disney Plus, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and then, Netflix.
Okay.
For $35. There's more shows than you would have watched if you had cable.
There's almost too much stuff.
It is too much
stuff to watch. I can't watch it all.
Yes, it is too much.
So I'm not complaining.
Then my fiance has to get cable, so then we need to throw in like HBO has their own channel. So
money,
HBO too.
Showtime.
Tell her don't waste money.
Tell her keep wasting that money. I need that in my life. Appreciate you. Let's see what else is happening here. CNBC is reporting that Disney's failure to have toys based on the Mandalorian's Baby Yoda available for the 2019 holiday season has resulted in a $2.7 million loss of $2.7 million, despite the fact that action figures and plushies are available for pre-order. So Jon Favreau, the great director of the Iron Man films, well, one of them, and
did he do 2 as well?
He did not do 2.
He produced 2. He was
He was in 2 for sure. But I know he did. He did 1. He did the great Jungle Book movie, the good one, right?
First one.
The first one, the good one. Not the one that came to Netflix. Yeah, not the one that came on Netflix. Don't go watching that one.
I don't even think Netflix like advertises.
Not really. It's like, oh, this is what you got. Andy Serkis.
Let me slide this one right in here.
Hey,
hope no one noticed this one.
Right. Hey, this happened. I actually had to go look for it. I think that's how bad it was not advertised. I had to go search it.
I never finished it. Actually,
did I finish it either? I don't know.
No, you finished it because you told me about it, and then I went to go watch it, and it was like, yeah, I'm not finishing this.
Yeah, it was bad. But Jon Favreau, he did not. So, in context, he is the writer and director for most of these episodes of The Mandalorian, and he wanted to keep the Baby Yoda surprise a secret, so they didn't make the toys prior to that. So basically, because he wanted to keep it a secret, which was smart.